Ladies and gentlemen, we're here.
I'm part of the Kliq, isn't everybody?
Yes! 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 I got an idea, yeah. Beat up John Cena!
Give me a hell yeah!
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Too sweet! This is where the power lies!
I am the man.
If you can, come on! It's showtime, folks!
The following episode is scheduled for one fall, and it is for your listening pleasure. This is In The Kliq.
What's up, everybody? Baby Kiwi here, and joining me once again is my brother Tommy. How's it going?
I'm doing good.
And also joining us is our good brother from Pro Wrestling 101 on Instagram. It's Richard. How's it going?
It's going real swell, guys. I just want to talk about how great Tommy looks today.
Yeah.
Looks muscular. Look at that. You working out, Tommy?
I do push-ups every day.
Every day. I can't do one. Too tall.
I got to keep it consistent.
Danny knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, preaching to the choir on that one.
There's two things tall people hate, and that's push-ups and bending over to pick anything up. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, I have not been able to shop at a mall for like clothes, department stores like that, probably since like 9th grade. I was like, once I got like I hit my growth spurt and got super tall. I was like, yep, the rest of my life is going to be shopping at big and tall stores from here on out. Yeah. So, yeah, no, I'm a regular at the big and tall stores. They know me. Yeah, that's all I ever go to now. So buy my superhero shirts there and my wrestling shirts, obviously from WWEshop.com or Pro Wrestling Tees. Other than that, that's like the 3 spots I get my shirts. So, yeah, that's a story of my life. But yeah, that's a whole nother ongoing issue in my life. But speaking of issues in our life, everything okay at your household now? The power issue and everything. Can we talk about that real quick? I was concerned.
Yeah. Danny texted me like what, 5 o'clock?
Yeah,
on Thursday.
No, Friday.
Friday. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Takeover 2 is Thursday. Okay.
Yeah.
And like what, 30 minutes later, the power goes out, and I don't have enough power on my phone or anything. So I
have a conversation.
I text Danny, and I'm like, hey, can you do me a favor? It's a really inconvenient favor. And he's like, yeah, sure. What's up? So can you check the PG&E website and see how long the power is going to be out in my area?
And that's when I was like, what? What's going on? Everything okay? And then when you said, yeah, you have power out, I was like, oh, man.
It's funny you mentioned PG&E. Just the other day, PG&E was on the other side of our hometown here because there was a gas leak going on, and they had to check it out.
Shut you down, too. They're going to shut you down.
Yeah, exactly.
So everywhere. It's happening everywhere in the Bay Area. PG&E is at it again.
Yeah.
So,
Danny texted me. And it was like, what, it was like 6, it happened, it went out at like 6:25.
Yeah.
And I texted you like literally when it happened. Mm-hmm. So, and you looked up and you're like, oh crap. And I'm like,
that's
what?
The first thing I texted.
Yeah. He didn't even tell me what time the power is coming back. He just texted me, oh crap. And then I'm like, uh-oh, what's up? And he's like, yeah. He sent me a screenshot and said 9:45.
Yeah.
And it's just like, are you kidding me?
I know. It's like, come on, man. Of course, when it rains and it pours type of situation. I was like, oh my God. And even today I was a little bit. What's that?
Of rain.
Yeah. But no, even today I was a little bit worried. This morning I got up early. And I was starting to, do some prep before we recorded today. And I was like chopping up the Alexa Bliss interview post on social, or that's my intention. I turn on the computer and I get the blue screen on my computer, I was like, blue screen. People call it the blue screen of death. I was like, no, my computer's like 6 months old. And then, I'm on my phone trying to figure out what to do. And there was like some YouTube videos, troubleshoot. I called the store that I had my computer built at, and they just opened, but they're like, yeah, you can bring it by and we can look at it. It might take like a week and a half. I'm like, no, can you just look at it right now and fix it? And it's like, oh, we don't have a tech on the weekends. I was like, what? And like, people have computer issues on the weekend too.
Yeah, it feels like the time that you would most need a tech.
Yeah, exactly. So I start texting my engineers at work, and I said, listen, I know I'm sorry it's a Sunday, but here's what's going on. I text them a photo of my computer screen.
Here's what's going on. I was looking up dirty videos, and my computer just crashed. I need you to fix it immediately because I didn't finish what I was watching.
That sounds like me on my phone.
So I'm like, I'm sorry, but I would imagine our engineers and just IT people in general, that's probably the new norm as far as you have to like kind of be more on call because everyone's working from home now remotely. So I'm sure they're used to it.
Hey, at least you didn't have to wind up a radio.
I know. So that was a beautiful photo. Your roommate had one. I was like, that's so cool.
We were trying to figure out what was going on in the world, and we were starting to divide food. And
dude, if there's ever like an apocalypse now, I know, come to you. You have a wind-up radio. I mean, like people laugh. There's like those little things are helpful.
And I know how to farm, so
be like The Walking Dead. We're gonna build a whole new civilization.
I'm the guy that people will fight over.
Yeah. So
the apocalypse
and
is
I'm
coming.
fertile. And I'm fertile.
It's more like Mad Max for me.
So that's Tommy. Tommy just gonna have a half a shoulder pad and just start beating up people.
Oh God. A shoulder pad with fur on it.
Yeah. And steal gas from people.
Yeah.
So
with my shotgun in hand.
But luckily, I was like looking up some videos on YouTube, and I was trying to restart it and do some little tips things. And finally, on one of the restarts, my computer started working fine. I'm like, oh my God. So I turned it on. I started backing up everything that was on there of importance, mostly just past episodes of this podcast in the last few months. So I backed everything up, and then started editing some stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave my computer as is. And then I was like, let's record and just get out of the way while everything seems to be good. And I told my IT guys, like, maybe tomorrow let's just double check everything's updated. So anyway, fingers crossed. It was just a small little speed bump on the road to WrestleMania that we're on right now. But
just like the weather.
Exactly. So yes, here we are. This episode of In The Kliq is, of course, going to be recapping and reviewing the highlights of WrestleMania 37 Night 1. Oh, is that
Stone Cold?
Oh, Stone Cold? Whoa. Which one is that one? Whooping ass since 1995. Awesome.
Yeah.
Man, okay, 95.
We're matching.
Oh, yeah, I got my Austin 316 shirt, and Tommy has his Muscle Man shirt as Richard.
So strong.
Yeah. So, wait, Stone Cold, I guess 95 was ECW, right?
Well, yeah.
He came in, though. He was only in ECW for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He cut that legendary promo at the Holiday Inn, like late at night.
Yeah, we're talking about WCW.
He put Mikey Whipwreck over to win the ECW Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So here we are, talk night one of WrestleMania 37. So much to get into. Richard, just kind of your initial takeaways from this show overall. We'll get into all the matches and stuff, but yeah, just your overall thoughts from after get to sleep on it for a night and think about it.
I rewatched Lashley and Drew today.
Okay, cool.
I think if tonight is as good as last night, this could be one of the top 5 WrestleManias.
Interesting.
I thought everything was great last night, considering, the rain and all that. Like, that's kind of the crazy benefit, is, God, how many years ago would they have just shut the show, or a match would get cut because of time? And because they stream it now, we just put up with that 25 minutes that we had waiting for the rain to pass. But like in the past, we would have lost a match or two.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting point, and I'm glad you brought that up because I know some people were posting apparently WWE and the football stadium that they're at, they have like a hard out or curfew by midnight Eastern time, so 9 p.m. our time. Not sure. People were speculating, will the stadium let them go longer or not?
Florida. It's Florida. Of
Yeah,
course
it's
they will.
Florida. It's Florida. It's like, let it go. Let it go. And
Yeah,
then,
they don't care.
What was the other
Florida man called the governor and asked for more time during his wrestling event.
Yes, and then I mean the other thing too, people were kind of speculating is like, okay, well, if this runs late because of the curfew, will matches get cut in time or just drop completely? But no, every match happened that was scheduled for night one, and it looked like everyone had the amount of time that seemed to be delegated to them. So
This is probably the first time in years that WrestleMania was better than the Takeover the same week. So
interesting. Yeah, I mean
that's nothing against the WrestleManias, because I don't think we've had a really, last year's was difficult for obvious reasons, but there's still some good matches on there. But typically the Takeover just overshadows WrestleMania, but like that one night last night alone kind of overshadowed Takeover. So we'll see what they do tonight. I loved it. It was so nice to have the fans. We got Vince McMahon opening up the show like you perceived, and
that was just a total wild guess on my part.
I didn't think we were going to get. I thought we'd get maybe Stephanie or Triple. I got goosebumps. It was great.
Yeah. How about you, Tommy? What were kind of your just initial takeaways?
Just the before they had the rain delay and all that. Just the improvised promos they gave out. They were terrific.
Yeah, we'll get into that as well. So that's the thing is, listen, say what you want to say. There's a lot of people who like to hate on WWE throughout the year, and we are used to it by now. But people like to say
get it.
Yes, people want to say what they want to say about Vince McMahon and the people the powers that be that book and stuff. But WrestleMania, for the most part, they treat it like a Hollywood movie, feel good moments,
blockbuster.
Yeah, so I felt like this night one, at least, there was a lot of great moments that are going to live on forever in the archives, in the promo packages. And, we talked about this before in the last few weeks. Some of the build for these storylines were not that good or could have been executed a little bit better. But, Richard, you brought up a good point recently. It's like at the end of the day, how many people are going to remember those storylines and more just what happened in the match itself? And that's when you said that really resonated with me. Be like, okay, let's watch these matches for what it is. And there was a lot of great moments. And, overall, there was a lot of people on this show, at least night one, that got some WrestleMania moments that never had one before, either upcoming new talents or people who've been with the company for a long time and finally had their time to shine. Cesaro is one.
I got some fun facts for you.
What's that?
We got our second only steel cage match on a WrestleMania, which is
you
insane.
said that. I was like, what? Really? I mean, I really started thinking about it.
I mean, there's been Hell in a Cells, but that I qualify that as a different kind of cage match.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
But in terms of just, regular traditional cage match, that's only the second one that's ever been on a Mania.
Tommy, what was the first one?
Well, it was obviously WrestleMania 2, main event between Hulk Hogan and King Kong Bundy.
Yeah.
But actually, that was the only steel cage match. I mean, because this cage match they had, it was just a traditional wire. I mean, the wire fence,
chain link fence,
fence. But in King Kong Bundy Hogan match, it was the blue bars, which was more painful, I think, than when you get your back against those.
That's why they stopped doing it.
Exactly.
I mean, from a look of it, it's so old school. I love it. It takes me back being a kid. But as Bret Hart has done in previous interviews, he said those things are not forgiving. They hurt when you slam your body. At least
they take a toll.
At least the chain link fence, if they bend and as you fall into it, expands outward.
It has a little more bounce to it.
Yeah. So.
It was also the first WrestleMania to headline African Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first main event that was a one-on-one women's championship match.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the thing. I was like, oh, yeah, like the one 2 years ago, that was a triple threat, technically.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
they had to force Charlotte into that match.
I have one more thing that's going to make you feel old.
Uh-oh. Okay.
In 13 years, WrestleMania is going to be 50.
I know. I thought about that too, man. I was like, it's going to be 50 pretty soon. So, I mean, that's the thing too. I miss when they used to really focus on the number, like WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 10. Now they're just WrestleMania. I mean, you know, for us fans and stuff, when we talk about it, we say, oh yeah, this is the 37th WrestleMania. But WWE with the promotions, it's just WrestleMania only. It's just a word by itself.
That's the hashtag on Twitter is WrestleMania.
I think for me, I kind of got lost after 21 in terms of what happened on shows. And then I think I kind of picked up again at 30.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's a good point.
30 to now, I can kind of remember a lot of what's on there.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just an interesting time period. I mean, I've said this before, you know, I felt like I personally kind of tuned out a little bit during the Ruthless Aggression era for obvious reasons, personal, but also school and college life at that time. I was so busy with
partying,
basketball,
doing drugs,
just going to school, homework, all that stuff. And so, I wasn't able to watch wrestling on a regular basis. And so I always, you know, told myself with the power of the WWE network, well, I guess more Peacock now, I would love to go back and rewatch, quote, the Ruthless Aggression era, at least maybe the big pay-per-views, and just kind of refamiliar myself with a lot of these guys, you know, the rise of Batista, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Rob Van Dam, Kurt Angle's run, you know, before he left. I mean, there's so much to get into.
JBL.
JBL.
Were you not watching when they brought back ECW, or were you watching that?
I mean, I was kind of watching that too a little bit.
I was too.
I mean, I was on Sci-Fi. I mean,
have you seen not to put you on the spot, but have you seen the one night stand shows?
I mean, honestly,
in its entirety?
I don't think not in its entirety.
No,
I have not. I mean, I know what happened.
When we get together, we're doing that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, of course, I know how big it was. You know, Cena versus RVD.
Well, even the year before. I mean, that was amazing.
I know when Edge came in, all that. I know everything that happened, but I don't think I've watched it all the way through. I to be honest, boy. I mean, I've seen the highlights.
This is exciting.
I mean, yeah, I knew how big it was, and you know, Sandman and all that stuff. But no, but for this WrestleMania itself, you got to give it up to everyone involved. They put on a fun show, and it was just, Richard, as you said, it was just goosebumps to see fans in attendance again, and just the crowd cheering. It's just like, wow. It feels like we've been frozen in time for the last, 13 months or whatever, and now, you know, we're starting to kind of get back to normal.
That felt like normal to me. That felt just so, so good.
As much as it'd be great seeing sports get back into it over the last few months, and other aspects of our life of entertainment, seeing the fans in a WWE show, that to me was like, all right, we're on the right track.
WrestleMania. I wonder how many people they actually had there.
I
know that they said 25.
They said roughly 25,000.
And the cardboard cutouts there. Yeah.
Oh, they're okay. Maybe that
was a lot of cardboard cutouts they had.
Yeah, it's just like the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So we had some friends
in the same stadium there
that were there. They were posting some photos and videos, and it's just like random cardboard cutouts of people's faces. I don't know who are those people. If they look like professionally shot photos. So I don't know if these are just scanned photos of people they have on file that they printed out on cardboard cutouts,
like your cardboard cutout last year at Oracle Park for the San Francisco Giants.
Or I don't know if it's actual fans that paid to have a cardboard cutout.
That's probably what it is.
So anyway, so that's back. So but yeah, no, overall I just felt it was a really good fun vibe. And listen, I know they already said Texas next year was going to be one night. I hope they keep it the 2 nights.
Yeah, I do too.
I like the 2 nights. You know, Richard, you know, we're talking about the time and the curfew. This show, even with the rain delay, I think itself was just a little over 3 hours.
Yeah, it felt like it.
So
it left you wanting more too. You know, so it's like I get my intermission from day 1 to day 2.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to it.
Me and William both did something. William, my heterosexual life partner, did something where we didn't watch Raw and SmackDown this week.
Interesting.
We both watched NXT, but we both didn't watch Raw and SmackDown because we wanted to kind of leave WrestleMania to be like, there's no anxiety over watching too much wrestling this week. So
I watched a replay of Raw, and I didn't watch SmackDown at all this week.
SmackDown, to be honest, you didn't miss too much. It was literally like equivalent of a kickoff show, literally the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which Jey Uso won, threw out Shinsuke. So the Dirty Dogs retained the SmackDown tag titles in the Fatal 4-Way. Other than that, Daniel Bryan cut a promo at the beginning, Edge halfway through, Roman at the very end. A lot of promo packages.
Plus, you said it was taped, right?
Yeah, and it was taped last week. So literally nothing special or major happened on a, quote, go-home show for SmackDown. So you didn't miss too much, to be honest. But so anyway, for you, by taking like the week off from watching, you think that kind of helped, like less of having like a burnout factor?
Yeah, we've done that the last couple of years, the two of us. So it's just kind of, it helps.
Yeah.
So.
No, but so... As the show started right at 5, it was funny. Yeah, they had the big video package, and then Vince McMahon out there with the entire WWE roster behind him. Stephanie, Triple H were there. And it was just cool. Vince McMahon just kind of the whole
They listened
MC.
to this podcast.
Yes, exactly. They're like, what Huey said, I'm going to do that. That's a great idea. Great creative. Get him on. Come on, Pritchard. Get In The Kliq guys on.
God damn it, Bruce.
So yeah, he comes out and just very much like as the host. Like he felt like more like the host of WrestleMania.
I love that though. I wish he did that for every single WrestleMania. It's so classic.
Yeah.
But he just, thanked the fans and says, listen, we realized the last year during the pandemic, he mentioned the pandemic. I know in the past, they never really mentioned the word pandemic.
Yeah, they kept it taboo.
Yeah, it was like a bad word to say. But he said this pandemic, the number one thing that our show is missing is you, the fans, the WWE Universe, and thanked them for everyone coming out and then said, welcome to WrestleMania. And it was just hearing him say that, it was
very
like,
nostalgic,
but it's like, yes, we are on the right road to getting back to things normal. So I thank WWE and Vince McMahon for doing that. It was cool. Like Edge was in his ring gear, even though he's wrestling tomorrow night. Roman in the suit.
Yeah,
he's ready. He's ready. He's gonna
Yeah.
smell tomorrow, but he's ready.
He's just gonna sleep on the floor at the locker.
Did you see the
Disgusting.
meme I sent you of it looked like him yelling at the clouds of they pasted it was a picture of Abe
the Simpsons one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
old man yells at cloud, but it's Vince McMahon's face.
So that's the thing. After the video package, they cut to, or was it America the Beautiful singing? Oh, with what's her name?
BB Rexa. BB Rexa.
Okay, so is she a pop star? I'm sorry.
She's a pop star. She's Grammy nominated. I think she's won a Grammy, but
Okay.
she's pretty popular right now.
Gotcha. So she did her thing, and then they cut to Cole at the announcer table, and they're like, we have a rain delay. We're going to start in a few minutes, but we have a rain delay. And that's when the shenanigans started.
It was because of the thunder. Otherwise, they would have just kept going.
Yeah, so obviously in Tampa, they're worried about thunderstorms and like thunder, electrocuting someone. So they're like, we're taking a quick break. So they cut to the back, and it was awesome.
It felt so old school. Like,
yes,
yeah.
It felt like me, like going back and forth between Mean Gene and who's the guy, the younger guy.
Todd
you know what I'm
Pettengill?
talking? No.
I know who you're talking about. It's
the British guy.
No.
White guy.
Sean
brown
Mooney.
hair. Sean Mooney.
Yeah. Okay.
Sean Mooney. Who?
Yeah, Sean Mooney. But it also felt like WrestleMania 3 too, with those backstage promos as well.
Well, it seems so cool. Like, obviously, they're stalling for time. It's to wait the rain out and see what happens. And so the lady, the blonde hair lady, Sarah from Monday Night Raw,
Schreiber.
so it was cool. Like she starts talking, and I actually have a quick list here. I try to write down everyone that was speaking. So Shane McMahon was the first one to talk, and then after a few minutes, MVP and Bobby Lashley came out. Then Drew comes up and confronts them. Then they throw it to Kayla with JBL and the other guy. And then they go back to the New Day. They're talking. Then Braun Strowman comes in. Then Kevin Owens, who's not even wrestling till tomorrow night. Tonight, I should say. He grabs the mic and starts talking. And then they go back to Cole and Samoa Joe, and they joked about Byron Saxton's microphone going out, and then back to Bianca Belair, and then Seth. It seemed like Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins were both having very fun on the microphone. Seth Rollins was joking, and just really seemed like he was ad-libbing. And then
I enjoyed the Lashley with MVP and Drew McIntyre confronting him. That was a great one.
But it was funny because Seth was talking to Kevin, the newer guy, Charlie Caruso's replacement, kept calling him
Irish
Mike.
guy?
Yeah, kept calling him
He's
Mike.
good.
He kept calling him Mike over and over.
Was he in NXT UK?
I don't know his backstory.
Anyway.
But then the Miz Morrison come out. So, yeah, I love, even though they're stalling for time, it just felt it was all improv, unscripted, just felt very raw and just natural. And it just shows how talented these superstars are. They're really earning their money as far as they are natural people. They know how to talk on the mic and get themselves over, and versus a lot of the scripted stuff we see on TV. So it was just so much fun.
Also take into account who we did see that was doing it. So there's kind of all the upper tier guys, which I think says something.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Kevin Owens, Seth, New Day, all of them are just so skillful what they do. So finally, seemed like things were okay. They were calling it Promo Mania too. I thought that was pretty fun. But
that was me.
Oh,
that was you. Yeah,
that was you. So, so they finally start the show. Hulk Hogan and Titus O'Neil come out to welcome everyone. I don't know. It felt a little awkward, a little bit between the two of them.
I agree. But watch it again today.
Okay.
Watch it again because before this one starts, because I watched it yesterday. I was like, it was a little iffy. And then I watched it again today. And pay attention to how Hogan is talking to Titus and telling him, like, get this crowd going. Like, you got this, Titus, brother. Like, he's telling him, like, they're not loud enough. I don't think they're loud enough.
Yeah,
Titus.
I noticed that.
He still has that feeling out the crowd thing in him.
Yeah,
and he's exactly right, because when Titus does it the second time, the crowd really comes alive.
So he was helping get Titus amped up and put him over.
Yeah,
I mean, look, if Titus was there alone and did it, I think it would have come off fine. But like Hogan knew that there was a little more in that crowd that they could give, and he got it.
The old school showmanship.
They need more energy.
Exactly, and he got it out of them.
More feedback.
And
there's a reason why he's the greatest of all time. So.
Hulkster did his thing. It was very cool. Opening match, Drew McIntyre taking on Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. And this is something I think we all kind of speculated. A lot of people wanted Bianca Belair and Sasha to main event, be the last match of night one. And then they made it official, I think, on Friday. They tweeted it out. So with that being said, it was like, okay, this is a great opportunity to get Drew and Bobby to start the show. And Drew McIntyre's been very vocal. He wanted to be the first superstar out for the fans to get that pop. And I was like, this is a great opportunity. Have that go first. Since Drew's the challenger, he was the first one to come out. The crowd, I just love, were just roaring for him. And you see Drew's face. I don't know if you guys noticed, he seemed kind of a little emotional. Like, he's missed this. I mean, the last one he really got was at Royal Rumble last year. Yeah. So
we saw that a lot even when Vince was out there and they're doing the Bibby Rexa was out there. Like, you could see Rhea Ripley was like in tears, and you could see Bianca Belair in tears. And a lot of that last night. So much, but it was just so good, just emotional, just human side of people there. Just sorry to break kayfabe, but it was great. So Bobby looked great. I texted you guys. I know I love seeing Bobby with that WWE Championship.
He looked like $1 million. Looked
great when he came out, and then when he got to the ring,
that's kind of the problem with both those guys. It looks great on both of them.
Yeah. So when he got to the ring, that's when the pyro went off and the lightning, which Tommy, you said was kind of fitting.
Oh, absolutely. I thought it was just a great touch.
But with the lightning, just the timing of it all,
Bobby was perfect
with the thunderstorms going on. I
know it was incredibly appropriate.
I noticed the announcers were standing up, I guess because the water was dripping down on them. I like how the match started. They started just wailing against each other.
Yeah.
Went outside early on.
It became a Pier 6 brawl at first.
Yeah, very hard hitting, but I was kind of worried because, you see the floors were wet. And so when they come back in the ring, it was like how much water they're bringing back in.
Mm-hmm.
But once they got back in the ring, Bobby took control.
Yep.
Drew got Bobby into the arm bar. I was like, whoa, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then Bobby reversed and started pounding ground on him. Just
hell yeah.
It was just like you said, it was a traditional big hoss match. Both guys just going back and forth, laying into each other.
It was an all-around terrific wrestling match.
Yeah, Richard, what'd you think about this? Just a match between the two of them.
I mean, we got a main event to open up the show. That's the crazy part about last night was that there were several main events last night. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not talking about like the closing the show. I mean, quality of match was main event quality.
Yeah,
exactly.
Drew with the belly to belly, then a neck breaker, then did the kip up. I mean, just that's cool when he does that.
Oh, he's one of the best.
Drew had Bobby hanging from his back and then flipped him over.
Mm-hmm.
Even Drew got Bobby into a wrist lock on top of the rope. So, like, once Drew, each guy had their moment back and forth countering. That's what I really loved. And then Drew attempted to claim more, but Bobby picked him up and threw him down. I was like, damn. And then Drew did another belly to belly, then 3 future shock DDTs. Drew started counting for a Claymore, but Bobby ducked. And then MVP pulled him out of the ring. And then Drew even did a swanton. Is that swanton, right? Where, jumps onto the outside. I was like, damn, Drew's going high flying as well. I was like, oh,
balls to the wall.
Yeah. And then, Bobby was able to get the hurt lock onto Drew McIntyre. And, Drew is trying to fight it off. And they've really been selling the hurt lock as this devastating move once it's locked in.
Very old school finish.
And then, but Drew got into a Gamora lock.
A rare Kimura lock.
And then, Drew McIntyre was in the corner and he was like ready to count and go for the Claymore, but MVP distracted him and started yelling Bobby's name. And Drew looked over, stopped what he was doing, and then quickly recovered and started running again. But that gave Bobby enough time.
How great is that? I mean, that's exactly why you have a manager.
Yeah, finally, just the strategy there. Then Bobby grabbed Drew, put him into the hurt lock, actually synced it in, because earlier Drew was trying to fight it off. But this time Bobby locked it in. Drew just passed out, and Bobby wins. So
I loved it. Old school finish.
Drew didn't tap out. He still looked very strong, very much like Austin. Didn't tap out. He just passed out against Bret Hart. And it's just cool. Kudos to Drew McIntyre for putting over Bobby Lashley. And, Bobby wins. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be a short title reign. And no, Bobby wins. And now I think a lot of people, even though he's a heel, is still happy for him. And I can't wait to see what's next. I mean, let these two big guys go at it for a few more months.
Like I said, they made the right call.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if they'll make Bobby champion, throughout the summer and stuff. That'd be great, man. I mean, Richard, just looking ahead, how awesome would it be seeing Bobby versus Roman Reigns at Survivor Series if they get that far? That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Next up, backstage segment, we saw NWO with Titus O'Neil and Bayley. Man, I loved it. I loved it too, but I just felt bad for Bayley. She got done dirty by Kevin Nash. He was like, too sweet. She was like, too sweet me. And he's like, he did the, gotcha, psych, and rubbed his head. X-Pac or Six Pac, whatever you want to call him, I guess, depending on
Sean Waltman.
1, 2, 3 kid, Lightning Kid.
Lightning Kid. He's like, I'm a big fan of you, Bayley. Too sweet. Yeah. And then Titus is like, I'm hungry. I want to go leave. And so, anyway, at least Bayley is on the show. We saw her later in the night interrupt the commentators before they did the Hall of Fame stuff. So,
For someone who didn't have a place on this year's WrestleMania, she found something very entertaining to do.
I thought she did a better job hosting. Because Titus and Hogan, that was it. We didn't see them at all rest of the night, if I remember correctly. So Bayley interject herself more into this into the show. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
So next up was the tag team turmoil match. Winner will face Nia and Shayna tonight for night number 2. If I had the power rank, this is probably the least entertaining match.
Bathroom break for me.
I mean, unfortunately, there was some sloppy botches and stuff.
For me, this match was a yes, but meaning I think that on paper going in, you probably knew this wasn't going to be that great.
Yeah.
And however, I think it was really good in the sake that it wasn't like rushed, the eliminations felt like everything got time, it was a couple of minutes for each team to come back out. And, so I like that a lot. I was kind of surprised by how much time they gave that, because in the past that would have been 5 minutes for 5 different teams to come out.
Yeah. So the tag team turmoil match started off with Lana and Naomi coming out first, and then Carmella and Billy K, this new makeshift tag team that Cole called it. What do you think of them working together now?
I'm good with anything Billy Kay does, because her trying to, I mean, it's almost Sandow and Miz-like the way she's, but at the same time, I really thought that was one of the more creative pins I've seen someone do.
So Billy Kay was pinning, and then Carmella was like,
in that position when you do a sit down power bomb, and then Billy Kay put her feet on Carmella's back to put pressure on the pin.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not able. If she was to kick out and push back, she couldn't push far.
Okay, yeah. So that's very cool. Yeah. A very heelish, good tactic from Carmella. So That was great. And then I was surprised Lana and Naomi. That was kind of like my prediction. I thought they were going to win because Lana has history with Nia. I thought they were going to tap into, but they didn't. So yeah, Lana and Naomi lose. Billy got the pin with the help of Carmella, as you just said. And then next out was the Riot Squad. And then after I was like, oh, they're probably going to win now, Riot Squad, because, you know, they're like the legit tag team of this whole thing.
They were definitely the stars of this match.
I love Ruby Riott was like Joker looking, and then Liv Morgan was like Harley Quinn gear. So the two of them coming off, you know, as a true tag team like that. So yeah, Riot Squad eliminated Billy Kay with the double knees into the Swanton for the pin, and then Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke come out, and I mean.
Mandy Rose fell on her perfect ass, guys.
I know. I'm so sorry. I felt so bad for Mandy Rose. I mean, hey, to her credit, I mean, at least, you know, she has a good excuse.
He was texting me saying, look at that dumb blonde and all this other crap. And it was really upsetting.
Such shade there.
Yeah. But Tommy and I were both like, hey, calm down, man.
But I just felt bad for her, just the embarrassment, you know, and she's going to be forever a meme now, and you know, WrestleBotch and Botchamania probably going to have clips running forever. But you know, but it's understandable. Listen, it's a thunderstorm out there. It's raining. It's slippery. They got ring boots on. Of course, they're going to slip. I'm surprised not more people slipped throughout tonight. But it was interesting, Richard. What do you think of Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke? They got like same outfit, like pink gear now.
I liked it a lot. I think that they're actually a pretty decent tag team together. You know, like they'll pick up some more wins and then they'll get on a streak. I mean, look, the women's tag team division is still new, so we're going to get these makeshift tag teams. I think that's a decent tag team.
No, I loved it too. I was like, yeah, they're kind of on the same page, same look, and, you know, long blonde hair. So
I agree.
I'm sure Vince McMahon's a big fan of this tag team for many reasons. And so, you know, even Cole got their names mixed up at one point. I think was it Mandy came in, but he called her Dana. So it was just kind of funny.
I noticed that.
I will admit, I thought the crowd got a little quiet during this match. I was like, oh, come on, guys. You know, it's only the second match. You shouldn't be winded yet.
I mean, I don't think it's that. I think that match was put there as a let me up to begin with. And it's you kind of have to have somewhat of a throwaway match right after what
Peaks and valleys.
Peaks and valleys.
Yeah, so let them kind of rest up for the next match, which was a banger as well, which we'll get into in a second. So I was just a little concerned, like, was it a little sloppy because of the rain and people, potentially slipping?
Well, I imagine there's some bit of anxiety and nerves. I mean, these wrestlers haven't wrestled in front of people in over a year. So even if you're the most gifted at your craft, I'm sure like something like this, and then you throw in the rain on top of it it throws you off.
It's funny. So I have it here. Riot Squad eliminated Blondes. That was just my notes to myself because I was like, I know what else to call them, but it's like I wonder should they give themselves like a nickname, a true tag team name for the two of them. But
I had one, but I forgot it.
So
Asuka had one a while. What did Asuka call them?
Oh,
remember that one night? She was like, sexy blonde something.
Yeah.
So Natty and Tamiya both come out. Riot Squad, I give them credit working their ass off. I mean, they were the longest in this match.
Yeah.
And it was cool at one point. So Natty was going to attempt the sharpshooter, but instead backed off and pointed to Tamina, tagged her in, and Tamina did old school frog splash just like her dad, Superfly Jimmy Snuka. And she hit it. Yeah. And that was great that she got this WrestleMania moment that's forever going to be, you know, like I said, in the archives. Like, you know, Natty going to attempt the sharpshooter, but instead gave Tamina that opportunity. Tamina hasn't had a really big opportunity before.
Yeah. I think it's really smart having those two as a tag team because, one, Tamina's been pretty injury prone her entire run.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm sure she's still on her first contract and it just keeps getting pushed back.
Yeah, with the injuries. Yeah,
but I think, you know, because like they've been around for so long that you would think that the characters might need a break. But I think if you don't need a break, then put them in a tag team, and that way when you know they're getting their reps in still, and you know, typically you always see something in one of a member of a tag team. So. Probably it'll be Natalya, and she might get one last push of her career somewhere down the line. And I was not upset by them winning this. I mean, I wanted the Riot Squad to win especially at WrestleMania. But I think that the Riot Squad shined pretty good for a WrestleMania, and I think that match at WrestleMania is a little more intriguing because it's two evenly matched teams. You've got the two big Samoans, and then you've got the two technical wizards.
Exactly. I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to say
it's a hard one to say. This team's going to win for sure.
It's exactly. And plus, they're all veterans, especially Natty and Tamiya. I mean, so I'm with you. I'm really glad you brought that up. I think that's going to be a really interesting tag team match tonight. And Natty's one of the all-time greats, just, with her pedigree, her family history and stuff. She's going to be, I think she's going to go out there and really deliver a great match. So, no, looking forward to it. Next up was Seth Rollins taking on Cesaro. The big story here was Seth Rollins did not want to get spun around again by Cesaro.
He got it.
He got swung.
Cesaro, his big thing is his first singles match by himself at WrestleMania.
This easily could have been a main event as well.
Man, it was so good.
So good.
What do you think of Seth Rollins' new remix theme song, entrance song? It was like a little bit of a different vibe to it.
I didn't like it. I mean, I hate what they did with Bret Hart's theme, adding the extra layers of guitar. I think if something works, then don't try to change it. Look at Hulk Hogan. Yeah. Real American's still awesome. So
yeah, thank you, Rick Derringer, for that one. Yeah. What's the Hoochie Coo song? Was that him?
Yeah, that was Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo. That was his song.
Which is funny. Whenever we play that on the Bone where I work, I'm like, they should play Real American in the playlist. It's Rick Derringer as well. So,
do it.
So early on, I'm trying to think. Cesaro, was working on Seth. And then Seth countered and started working on Cesaro's arm. And then later on, Cesaro tried to attempt to do the swings and only got 9 in before his arm just gave out and was too hurt. I thought that was a cool little story beat right there. I mean, these both guys were just going at it all over the place. I mean, what can you say? It was just such an entertaining match, high flying. Dude, Seth Rollins attempted that corkscrew frog splash.
Attempted.
I mean, sorry, not attempted. He hit it. Yes. When he did it, I was like, oh my God, that was so cool. Just seeing that move.
Yeah. When I first saw him do it, I thought it looked very effeminate. And then after he landed it, I was like, that was pretty cool.
Man. And then Seth attempted a curb stomp, but Cesaro countered and did the European uppercut on him.
That was sweet.
I felt like, to me, the match wasn't like we didn't get more of Cesaro than we would regularly, which I think is good. Like, it was a smart match where, they didn't make Cesaro look any stronger than he usually would.
Right.
This just felt like a really good Cesaro match.
Yeah, right. As a babyface, he's trying to overcome Seth Rollins, who's arguably one of the greats of this generation. So to overcome those odds.
What I mean by that is, I think it's kind of like when Jinder won the belt. Mm-hmm. And people were just like, that guy, he always loses. But you look at him and you look at the rest of the roster, and it's like, look what he's done to himself. Yeah. And this is just Cesaro coming out as he normally looks and got the win that night. It was great.
Mm-hmm. And then he did the UFO. So he started spinning Seth on his shoulders and then put his arms crossed. Hands. I was like, what?
That was amazing.
Oh, my God. That's amazing. Just the momentum.
The pop it got.
Yes. And then after that, he started doing the swings and he got 23 swings. I guess that's the record. He had 22 before. So, and then he hit the neutralizer and Cesaro picked up the win. And so everyone could tell was just super happy. Even they cut to the announcers and Corey Graves was pointing to Cesaro. Like, you could tell he was pointing like, dude, this is your moment. So, like, obviously they're probably buds behind the scenes. I thought that was just a really cool story beat right there. And then, so very happy for Cesaro. And just kudos to Seth Rollins, who put him over. I mean, Seth Rollins is one of the most decorated champions in recent years, all the accomplishments. So to put Cesaro over, that's huge. And I hope Cesaro can use that momentum moving forward for more bigger things.
Oh, yeah.
We saw a quick promo with the Dirty Dogs, Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. They retained SmackDown tag titles from Friday on SmackDown, as I mentioned earlier. Next up was the Raw tag titles championship match. Omos and AJ Styles come out to the ring, and then it was time for the New Day. Big E came out and introduced the New Day live on the microphone. Dude, that It was so cool.
It felt so good.
Just seeing, Big E and just get the crowd going.
It was a nice touch.
I mean, that's something you and I, we the three of us were talking recently of like, who's going to be the first one to come out? And we said, if it's not Vince or Hogan or Drew, it should be the New Day, because New Day will get that pop from the crowd. And even though it's later on in the show, still come out, and it was just great introduction. I was trying to look at their looks. The New Day, it was like, was that Tampa Bay Buccaneers inspired? I saw online, is it Rubio from Hook, the Peter Pan movie? So I couldn't tell.
Oh yes,
because they had the mohawk.
Rufio.
Oh, it was Rufio.
Rufio, yes,
not Rubio.
yes.
I'm sorry.
Rubio. Hungry?
No, great spot. Rufio. I'm sorry.
This segment has been brought to you by Rubio's.
Rufio, sorry.
Wait, what's Rubio again?
It's that Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
The one in Emeryville and San Francisco.
Yeah,
sorry.
Rubio, yeah. I've never ate there.
It's good.
All right.
It's all right. So, and then, AJ started the match. And
oh, boy. He took a beating.
Because even like Xavier's like, hey guys, look, this is a good traditional tag team. We're cutting the ring in half. And they kept AJ, they were beating the crap out of him. But it makes sense. This is almost
very fun match.
Yes. I mean, it is almost first match, his debut match at a WrestleMania. And you're building up anticipation for it.
Yes.
Rightfully so. AJ is getting his ass beat, so he eventually is going to get the hot tag. It's just a matter of when and where. At one point, AJ was reaching. I thought almost could have reached out more and easily tagged in, but he just was kind of like, I'm trying, but he didn't really do more. But finally, at one point,
wow.
AJ was in the middle of the ring. Xavier was at the top of the rope, right? And he was going to go for a move, and he realized AJ kind of recovered. Kofi was on the outside, and AJ was like, I can run and go tag almost in now. And so he runs over.
I love that.
Xavier was like, no, don't do it. Don't tag him in. So almost comes in.
How tall is he, did they say?
7'3".
They list him at 7'3".
What'd you think of his ring gear? It was just like, a compression shirt and black pants.
You know what it reminded me of?
Kevin Nash is only 6'10", by the way.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of like Bad Luck Fale's look.
Oh, okay. Just kind of
because he had his name on the back. It kind of looked like the Bullet Club kind of logo.
Yeah. So it was
what an intimidating presence, is he not?
Dude, I will say this.
Wow.
Remember the reports where him, Keith Lee, and some other guys were having like big man training at the Performance Center?
Well, I think I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm 50-50 sure. I think Gerald Briscoe found him.
Really?
Is that okay?
So, wow, he's just like, he looks big standing outside the ring and standing with AJ and coming down to the ring with AJ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's in the ring and doing stuff.
He's got that Andre the Giant presence.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like if Khali could move his back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Khali, when he walked, it looked like it was painful, but at least almost he can like kind of run. He was going back and forth, hitting each guy in the New Day in the corners.
Yeah.
But I like he has this larger than life persona. Xavier was trying to kick him and he was no selling. So say what you want to say, but at least WWE, I think, know how to handle big guys and make them larger than life personalities.
Yeah.
And you could tell, like, the New Day were, like, scared, didn't know how to counter him, and he just looked like a huge threat, unstoppable, moving force. Mm-hmm. So that's what was so entertaining on a WrestleMania-sized stage. That's what made it so great. And so, I like how AJ jumped over his shoulders for at one point later in the match, and then almost just dominated. He beat the crap out of both guys in New Day and then pinned Kofi.
Yeah.
AJ told him, use your foot, pin him that way. Use your foot to pin him. I was like, that was a great touch.
It was a great way to put him over.
And then, AJ and almost to the new Raw tag team titles to get the win. And so, congrats, AJ Styles. He's an official Grand Slam champion in WWE now. So, and also he's obviously a Grand Slam champion in TNA. And then, Tommy, what's the big stat he's had as well?
Oh, he's the third wrestler in pro wrestling history to have held both the WWE title and the NWA World's Heavyweight title.
So AJ just ranking up all the accomplishments in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Love it. Next up was Shane McMahon taking on Braun Strowman. Steel cage match. Richard, what do you think of how this steel cage match played out? I
loved it. This is my favorite cage match in years. Like, there was just so much I liked about this. The psychology of it was great. Mm-hmm. I think that's exactly how that match should have went. No other way about it. from Braun ripping his hand through the cage and pulling Shane back in. Mm-hmm. That's not something you think about. Like it's just complete out of the box thinking.
It's bonkers.
Pulling him on top of the cage and giving him that bump. Shane McMahon always delivers. Always. Yeah. So to me, it's when people complain that Shane's back and he's taking the spotlight from someone else. He's taking the spotlight for someone else, but he's making the person that he's in the ring with look better.
And that's the thing too, is like Shane McMahon. Listen, I don't think he's trying to recreate Mr. McMahon 2.0 that we saw in the 90s with Austin, but at least he is doing some form of that, his own version of that. And he's like, at least in this storyline, they finally said he's like bullying Braun Strowman. So at least, this rich, you argue, his persona's spoiled personality, condescending attitude. He's, like you said, this is, maybe Braun's version of a Mr. McMahon type personality he has to deal with and overcome. So I enjoy that aspect of the story that they were building towards. But yeah, it was, and the whole thing was, Shane kept calling Braun stupid and trying to outsmart him.
Because he is.
Well, Shane outsmarted him. He had Elias and Riker attack Braun before he entered the ring. Yeah. Great, him with the chair. Yeah. But once Braun got in, the match started. Braun was kind of limping.
Braun was the bully. Braun was the bully. I stand by that.
Yeah. So, we saw Shane try to escape multiple times, but Braun kept pulling him back in, took control, dominated. Shane McMahon with that coast to coast from the top of the ring.
That was insane.
That was great. And then Shane had stuff hidden around the ring, so when he went up top, he had the toolbox hidden up there, hit him in the head.
Yeah, that was funny.
Even with the cookie cutter, I think, as well.
Yeah.
So Shane tried leaving, as you said, Richard, on the outside, but Shane, being kind of a little bit of a dumb move, he stopped, put his hand through the cage and was like waving like bye-bye, gave Braun time to recover, jump up, grab the hand, and then smash through the cage wall, rip it down, bring Shane back in. So it was great. Like Shane kept calling Braun stupid, pulled a stupid move.
Because he is stupid. The big stupid bully. How great was it that we got Jerry Lawler on commentary for this?
Oh, that was fun.
And then, but that spot as well, they went back to the top of the cage and Braun said, "Who's stupid now?" And just threw Shane and took that bump.
That was awesome.
And then, hit the running power slam and Braun picked up the win by pinning Shane. It was interesting though, because I think some people were questioning, well, okay, Braun, you threw Shane off top of the cage. You could just slide down the side. Why go back in and get one more power slam in? I just thought, really sell it as far as he really wanted to get
make sure
get a big win over Shane in the middle of the ring. So it was a very fun steel cage match. And then next up was the Hall of Fame highlights from the 2020 class. It was very cool seeing all of them, seeing the NWO come out, brother, for life.
Too sweet.
So,
buy the shirt.
So that was very cool just seeing that. And then Bayley we saw as well. Next up was the Bad Bunny, Damian Priest, Miz and Morrison match. Booker T out on commentary. We all love Booker T. So
can you dig it, sucker?
Miz and Morrison come out with all these bunnies in bunny suits. It was just I felt like Easter all over again.
Yeah.
The timing of it was perfect. But it makes you wonder, obviously, people under those masks are probably all like NXT superstars or trainees.
What are you talking about? They were bunnies.
The furry convention down the
You can't break kayfabe with these bunnies. They're real bunnies.
These are real bunnies.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, like, what future NXT champion is under those suits right now.
All of them.
It's going to be, 2 years from now, they're going to be like, oh, this person was under the bunny suit. But it was cool. Miz and Morrison, though, like, I don't know, were they trying to lip sync or their mics were turned off? But I was like, they're trying to sing their song, but the song was playing.
It's a good song. It's a good song.
Was it hip? No,
hop.
Hey.
Stop it.
I was laughing when a couple bunnies lost their ear. So it's just kind of funny.
Well, you can see that one of them lost the head almost, and the camera quickly shot away because they were slipping. They had to jump down the watery ramp.
Yeah, exactly. So
losers.
And then we see Damian Priest come out first. Dude, total rock star entrance.
Oh yeah.
As far God, who would thought was 6 months ago, he was North American champion. Now he's having this big entrance at WrestleMania. So, very happy for just Damian Priest.
With a mega star.
Yes. And then, he comes out with the purple gear and, it just comes out and just looks like $1,000,000. And then Bad Bunny comes out in the truck that's like down the road.
Yeah, going to the stadium.
So that was just very cool.
Was that supposed to be a take on the Matrix?
Well, he had the Matrix gear look like, but then I don't know. I mean, was it like a video game? WCW NWO 2000? I heard
Backstage?
Something like that. I don't know if that's some play off a video game as well.
Maybe.
I was thinking, is that the same truck Becky Lynch used last year?
I thought the same thing.
I was thinking about Becky Lynch at first. But, so the match was getting ready to start. Damian Priest wanted to start it out, but The Miz said, no, we want the Bad Bunny to start it off. And so Priest tagged in Bad Bunny, and he started this match and was in it the majority of the time. So, how would you rank Bad Bunny's performance in the ring?
On a scale of David Arquette to Ronda Rousey, he's somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
All right.
I thought, I can't even say that about David Arquette anymore. Damn it.
Pat McAfee.
McAfee's better, probably.
I was going to say, that's a big...
very impressive. I mean, hitting a Canadian destroyer alone is...
Bunny Destroyer now. That's what they're calling it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I wish that he didn't get as much or all of his offense in on Miz right at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been beneficial for Miz to shove him down or something and kind of show him, hey, you might think I'm a pushover, but you're in my world now.
Yeah.
Biatch.
So, I was just amazed, how well Bad Bunny performed in the ring, just the spots he was landing. I mean, and listen.
Really good storytelling on his part.
Yeah, to Miz and Morrison's credit, they made Bad Bunny look really good. I mean, if you watch close, you can see Miz at points he was laying there next to Bad Bunny, and you can see he'll turn over and he's probably whispering something like, "Hey, this is what we're going to do next." So Miz, calling the spots, selling, both guys selling for Bad Bunny, make him look great. Mm-hmm. I mean, Miz Morrison, total pros.
Yeah,
they know the big picture of do a good job for business out there. They sold for him. But, Bad Bunny looked like a great babyface, took a beating, and you're rooting for him to get that hot tag on Damian Priest. Mm-hmm. Finally does. They both do that double Falcon Arrow.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Damn.
That was sweet.
Bad Bunny with the Falcon Arrow. Bad Bunny at the Irish Whip for using Damian Priest to dive outside. That was great. Mm-hmm. And then the crowd was cheering. Bad Bunny jumped off the top rope, off the Miz and Morrison as well. Miz attempted the skull-crushing finale, but Bad Bunny made the save. And then, Bad Bunny had a Canadian Destroyer, or as they saw online, a Bunny Destroyer on Morrison. Mm-hmm. It's so good. And then Bad Bunny, Damian Priest was holding him up like a doomsday device, but Bad Bunny with the cross body for the win. So
that was a nice touch.
Dude, Bad Bunny overcame all the odds. I think a lot of people had low expectations just of a celebrity, but he over-delivered. And I'm sure they documented this. Maybe we'll see a 24 or something.
Yeah. Just
documenting this whole, how he trained for this.
Plus, he did a hell of a job selling, too.
Yeah, absolutely. So it just shows he's a big fan of WWE, and I'm glad he took this very seriously. There's a lot of guys who could just easily took it as a paycheck, but no. Bad Bunny.
He delivered.
Good. Impressed everyone. So, main event time. Sasha Banks taking on Bianca Belair for the Women's SmackDown Championship. Man, just the emotions to start this match.
Over-delivered?
Oh, my God. So good. So, Bianca Belair comes out, huge babyface pop, the fresh young talent. Sasha Banks come out. And what was Sasha Banks' gear inspired by? I was trying to it was black with yellow.
I don't think it's anything.
Okay, it's just kind of just a different design. Yeah.
She's a fashionista.
Yeah. Her husband, I think, makes all her gear, so that's cool.
Not Ginny from NXT UK. She's the fashionista over there across the pond.
The announcer, announces both of them to the match, and you could tell.
Oh, Greg Hamilton, he had a hell of an announcement last night. That was great. I actually took notice of his ability last night.
Yeah, you could tell both girls were emotional, and they paused and looked at each other and looked around, just taking it all in. Very much like Hogan Rock at WrestleMania 18, but you could tell they were breaking kayfabe and they were smiling at each other, getting emotional. You couldn't but just root for both of them, just how happy it was and how historical that moment was. So, I loved it. Bianca caught Sasha Banks, who was doing a suicide dive, and then
that was amazing. Well, first of all, that's probably the best suicide dive Sasha's ever pulled off.
Yeah,
She's got herself stuck in the ropes a couple of times and fallen pretty hard. But
so Bianca,
the way they did that with the referee kind of leaning on the ropes was perfect. He was just lowering it enough. And Bianca getting her up in the military press. It was just,
I know that press slam, walked up the steps and threw her back in the ring. That's the thing. Early on, Bianca was just trying to show her strength, her feats of strength on Sasha. Bianca tried doing a moonsault, but Sasha grabbed her by the hair. So Sasha kept countering, grabbing her hair throughout the match. Even Bianca attempted that 450 splash, but Sasha got her knees up. Great, just a little strategy there. Bianca did 2 sit-up power bombs. I was trying to just keep track of everything that was happening. Sasha used her hair to get into the bank statement. Sasha hit the knees in the corner after a jump from the top rope. Bianca hit the 450 splash, but Sasha kicked out, and Bianca, you could tell, just looked so frustrated and was just like, I don't know what I can do. Like, I'm giving everything I can. Is she just that much better than me? So,
the hair went. She rarely pulls that out, but when she did it, my stomach hurt from that.
I know. Well, right before that, they did the tug of war on the hair, and then as you said, Bianca just whipped Sasha with the hair, and then hit the KOD, and Bianca Belair wins, becomes the new women's SmackDown champion. Bianca's face just crying, celebrating, and she's looking.
Hold on, though. Like that transition, because she got her up for the what was she? She's called the KOD.
The KOD.
It's a burning hammer, but
yeah.
Like she got her up the first time, and Sasha countered it. Mm-hmm. That whole transition from counter to counter back in the move was so perfect. Mm-hmm. Like that was, and she is a rookie. Like she's new, so it's just like, my God, did she deliver?
Well, even earlier, remember when Bianca got Sasha up for like a suplex and held her up and went rope, bounce, and it was just, she was walking around with Sasha Banks holding her up. It was just awesome. But Bianca, when she held up the title, you could see she was like looking at her mom in the crowd going, mommy, like she won, like she can contain herself. Her dad was celebrating, almost fell over the barricade. That was awesome.
That was fun.
I want to ask you, since you were there, when you were in New York for WrestleMania, have you gone back and watched that main event?
I have not, to be honest.
I want to go back and watch that because, like, I think everyone was a little bit fatigued, but but they weren't fatigued. It was their only match of the night. So like, I'd like to compare the two, because last night was like, my God, that was amazing. Like for two women who've never headlined a WrestleMania to do what they did, just absolutely incredible.
I mean, and then there was some video. I don't know if you saw online. Yeah. Sasha was on the ground smiling, and you looked that she was just smiling. And even though she lost, she was just happy to see Bianca get the win. So breaking kayfabe a little bit.
I thought that all the wrestlers want to win all the time, Danny. I don't get it.
You sound like
she's breaking the fans' kayfabe.
Yes. And just happy for Bianca Belair and for Sasha. Congrats to both of them putting on a hell of a show. And I hope Bianca gets a good run with this title and get some good competition.
Well, there's some rumors. There's some rumors floating around of some big comebacks. So it'd be interesting to see a Bianca Belair and a Becky Lynch, or a Bianca Belair and a Ronda Rousey.
Or Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Charlotte's on Raw, but maybe they can make a trade. And you keep in mind, like, maybe even NXT call-ups as well. I mean, there's, the Raw after Mania, and even SmackDown after Mania could be very, very some fun stuff.
If you think about it, Ronda Rousey's contract officially ended in terms of timeline
a 3 years.
Weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, she hasn't competed in quite a while. So the rumor is that it overlap, so they're going to continue until she finishes her dates off. Gotcha. So if you think about it, the logical choice would be to put her on Fox, so SmackDown.
Sports, the sports, her background with UFC and stuff.
Yeah. And you want to talk about another rookie that over-delivered. Like, you get those two in the ring, that's sign me up. Bianca Belair versus Ronda Rousey at a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania.
That'd be money.
I know. I cannot wait. Just, I'm so happy for everyone. It was just such a great moment and just match and just, there's so much. And then I guess when they went off the air, Bianca's husband, Montez Ford, came out, celebrated, carried her around like a Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth style. And even when she went backstage, Montez picked her up when she went backstage, just exhausted and fell over. And
there's another one I saw. I don't know if it was on WWE. It might be on WWE's Twitter, but it's like they got her on a golf cart. They're driving her through the building. Yeah, and she's just like, "Oh my god, I feel like I'm in a dream right now."
Kept saying,
like she looks like she's gonna throw up.
Yeah,
just dizzy with like all the excitement.
Yeah, so I mean, I would love to see the backstage documentary for this whole night as well. So yeah, night number 2 has a lot to live up to. A lot of expectations, but no, very much like a Hollywood ending. Just this whole show felt great. So,
what was your favorite match from night 1?
Personally. I mean, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley was just fun. Old school, 2 big boys just beating the crap out of each other. Cesaro and Seth were a lot of fun. But Bianca and Sasha, dude, they lived up to the hype. I mean, I could throw on Bobby and Drew right now and just love that. But just the emotions Bianca and Sasha had and the historical value there is so cool. So like you said, night number 2 is a lot to live up to.
What do you think is going to steal tonight? I'm guessing the main event.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan.
Asuka and Rhea could do it.
Yeah,
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, if they get enough time, they could do some fun stuff as well.
See whatever the hell the Fiend and Randy Orton are going to do as well.
I guess that's going to be live in the ring. I guess it's not going to be a cinematic match just based on...
I'm sure they've got some tricks still.
Yeah, absolutely. So look forward to it. We'll, of course, recap and review that after it's done as well. So, let's go ahead, wrap up, and then get ready for night number 2. So, Richard, where can the Kliqsters find you online?
Let's see. Where can they find me?
Here we go.
You can find me on Instagram at WWE Asuka, and please send your hate tweets over to at BabyHuey83 on Twitter and Instagram. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast, because the more of you that do that, the more we're found on here. So
yes, exactly.
There you go.
You're getting it, the whole podcast.
Oh, I'm way ahead of you.
Thank you. Tommy, how about yourself?
I've got dozens of fans on my Finding Columbo podcast. So
that's awesome.
I'm big in Fremont.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's such a widespread town.
I mean, Columbo's such a huge influence. Generations keep track of him.
Exactly.
His influence is huge.
It's the trench coat, man.
Tommy, how about you?
Well, you can always find me on Twitter and Instagram at IronFist1982.
Yeah, shout out. Please follow Tommy. He's doing an amazing job live tweeting.
I'm doing my best to live tweet WrestleMania.
Yeah, no, it's great.
I was doing double duty last night. I was watching the fights as well as watching WrestleMania.
So, I've been retweeting his stuff just because I've been busy taking notes. I haven't had time to do live tweets. So please.
I don't do that. I argue with people about Arn Anderson not being boring.
Yeah, you sent me that, man. That was...
It's gone even further.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So, I'm Baby Huey. Follow me on Facebook at Baby Huey Official, Twitter and Instagram, as Richard likes to proudly remind you all at Baby Huey 83.
I just think that if we could have an improvement, you're the person that they should send their thoughts and concerns and their aggression out on. I don't want them sending it to me. It's your podcast.
It's our podcast. We're one big family. We're the Kliqsters.
I'm not a clickbaiter.
As always, please remember, subscribe to In The Kliq on your favorite podcast platform, including YouTube. Follow us at In The Kliq on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. In the link in our bio there, you can find the merch. InTheKliq@gmail.com. Thank you as always for the support. It's been a very busy week, WrestleMania week. We're trying to do our best, review all the big events from this last week. So thank you for all the support. Go back and listen. My interview with Alexa Bliss a couple episodes ago was a lot of fun. And on that note, let's go home. And that's the bottom line, because Huey said so.